Welcome to Las Vegas, where we can no doubt defend an alley-oop better than the Clippers. Alongside Tyler Fulghum, I'm Joe Fortenbaugh. This is Bet. Ryan Windhorst with the scoop on how you should bet the Game 1 start of the Milwaukee-Atlanta series. We've got NBA picks, NHL picks, golf picks for the Travelers, and we're going to break down the best way to bet the Rams and the Chargers with some of their preseason future. Speaking of football, if you're into college football, check out our YouTube page, youtube.com/ESPN Sports Betting. We've been rolling out win totals that we really enjoyed. The Big Ten was yesterday. The Big 12 is today. And that's been happening on Daily Wager, but you can check it here as well. Daily Wager today, 3 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Eastern, and 3 p.m. Pacific on ESPN2. Almost nailed it. Almost nailed it. How you doing? You ready?
Yeah, you know, Joseph, I don't know how much good I'm going to be to you today as your co-host here on Bet. I'm kind of going through something. Yesterday, I had to bite the bullet. I will just admit to you, and I had to buy some male hair growth product. The crown is starting to show in the back. I had to confront my mortality. I had to be proactive about it, and I had to, buy some stuff for the crown thinning back here. So emotionally, we're still trying to work through this. My mind was racing with other things as I was trying to build this rundown in my notes. So again, I don't know how much good I'm going to be to you today.
All right.
You might have to carry me because I'm still kind of emotionally coming to grips with my age and mortality.
I'm sorry to hear it, but you know what? You're looking lean. You're looking good. I think you're ready to go. From the front, it all looks good. From the back,
that's all they
from
can
on
see
top,
right
we'll
now.
stay away.
Luckily, there's no cameras back here.
All right, we will begin with a little something called Let It Ride or Cash Out. There's a statement. If you agree, you're letting it ride. If you disagree, you're going to cash out. So let's start with Major League Baseball, where scoring is up and pants are down due to a crackdown on pitchers and their use of sticky substances. Let it ride or cash out. Overs will hit at a rate of at least 60% over the next week as a result of some of these rules changes.
That's such an outrageous number.
Is it?
But I'm going to let it
ride. This guy.
Yeah, why not? Pitchers are all in their fields. You got Sergio Romo and Max Scherzer. Scherzer almost getting in a fight with Joe Girardi. Romo dropping his drawers in front of the umpire as he was walking off the field. So I think right now pitchers are less concerned about throwing pitches and more concerned about their confrontations with the umpires and confrontation with Rob Manfred more specifically. So I'll say, yeah, that hitters take advantage in the next week and we see a robust number of overs hit in Major League Baseball. Why not? Chicks dig the long ball. The weather's warming up. Pitchers are a little distracted, so why not?
You opened the show by saying you didn't think you were going to be very good to me today, and yeah, that's how I feel right now. I'm going to go the other way on that one. Very good point. I wrestled with this one for quite a bit. As of the close of business on Tuesday, overs were hitting at just shy of 51% on the season, 50.7%. So we're asking for a 10% increase just over the next week, which is a small sample size, and it's absolutely doable. But even after the crackdowns happened, starting yesterday, unders went 9-6. So in 15 games yesterday, we still had 9 unders, which makes me think maybe we see some more overs, but we still have teams like the Tigers out there, the Mets, the Yankees, teams that aren't even scoring 4 runs per game. Are these teams suddenly going to get better because of the crackdown? Perhaps. And remember something else. If there is a massive shift, the bookmakers will be quick to adjust. So I'm a little reluctant here. I think you make some excellent points, but I am going to sit here with the 3 true outcomes and everyone's swinging for the fences. Strikeout rate's still up. That'll drop a little bit, but ultimately I'm going to cash out. Number 2, Game 6. Between the Islanders and the Lightning tonight, with Tampa Bay holding a 3-2 series lead after their 8-0 drubbing in Game 5 on Monday night. Let it ride or cash out. The Lightning win this game, and we see 8 or more goals at a juicy payout of 9-1.
Oh, you added that "and" in there, and that's going to make me cash out here. I do think the Lightning can win, but 8 goals I think is going to be a little bit too much. I know we just saw it from the Lightning alone, but I think in Game 6 back on the island, you're going to see the Islanders bring an intense physical brand of hockey for 200 feet for the course of 60-plus minutes if the game goes into overtime, feeding off that crowd. So if the Islanders are dictating kind of the tempo and pace and style of this game. I think they're going to try and muck it up and keep it a low-scoring game because if it is, they have a better chance to win the game, in my estimation.
How about Chris the Bear Felica joins us Monday, picks the Islanders, wears his Islanders jersey, picks the Islanders to win the series, and then just hours later loses 8-0.
Stings the nostrils.
No one's checked on him since. I don't know how he's doing. I am going to be with you on this one. I am going to cash out as well. Tampa Bay is minus 145 to win this game, so them just outright winning it is a more than realistic possibility. Right. But like you said, Tyler, trying to get to 8 or more goals is going to be a tough ask. Remember something, prior to Game 5, this series was averaging just 4.2 goals per game. Why? 2 great defenses, 2 great goaltenders. Throughout the course of the regular season, no one gave up fewer goals than the Islanders. Actually, one team did. I looked at my notes wrong. They ranked second. Tampa Bay ranked 6th in goals allowed. So these are 2 elite defenses. They had the one outlier game. Maybe we get 5, 6, 7 goals tonight, but to get to 8, I think is a huge ask.
I will say, given those odds at 9-1, though, this particular odds booster parlay is not a bad bet for a little sprinkle. Not a bad bet. I just obviously don't think it's going to happen on a more than 10 to 15% outcome rate.
And if you're the Islanders and it's late, you're emptying that net with 5, 6 minutes to go. You could get at least 2 freebies. So if it's 3-3, or I shouldn't say 3-3, but it's 4-2 late, you could get your 2 goals. All right, final one. Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals between the Milwaukee Bucks and the Atlanta Hawks tips tonight, with the Bucks as an 8-point favorite and the total set at 225.5. Let it ride or cash out. The Bucks will defeat the Hawks in 4 or 5 games in this series.
Oh, easy, Gus. I'm going to cash out on that bad boy. I think the Hawks have a real chance to win the series. I think they're the better play on the series price, given the odds you're going to get for each team. And then no matter what, whether the Hawks or Bucks win this, I think it's a 6 or 7 game series. Maybe the Phoenix Suns are the only team that's remaining in this postseason that has been as impressive or more impressive than the Atlanta Hawks. I thought the Atlanta Hawks would lose in the first round. I thought they'd lose in the second round. Yet here they are. They've won Game 1 on the road as straight-up underdogs in Round 1 at New York and Round 2 in Philly. So I very much think this is going to be at least a 6 or 7 game series, regardless of who wins. And I think the Hawks have more than a puncher's chance.
You surprised the spread's this high for Game 1?
Absolutely.
It's a big number.
Absolutely.
I am with you. I'm going to cash out. My official play for the series is Hawks in 7. I'm not going to fight you over it. I'm just going to say Hawks in 7.
Yeah, I like it.
There will be no fisticuffs on this program.
I like it.
Hawks in 7's at 10-1. Why? I think the pricing is ridiculously good given what we saw in the last round. Say anything you want about Atlanta, if they don't belong on the big stage, whatever. They got a lot of metrics to prove it, but I want to focus on Milwaukee. A lot of people think the Bucks are ready to surge now that they've gotten over that hurdle. But let's look at who they beat in Cleveland. Kyrie Irving only played in 3 games and then got hurt 17 minutes into Game 4. James Harden only played in 3 games and he was a shell of his former self, scoring a grand total of 43 points. Joe Harris only shot 32% from deep. He didn't help Kevin Durant. That's it. It was just the Kevin Durant show, and it still took the Bucks 7 games to get past that team. I think the Bucks should be the favorite. I think it should be much closer. If Atlanta can eke this one out 10-1 to win in 7, that's going to be the play. Now, you've heard it from us, but let's bring in an expert on the matter. Brian Windhorst covers the NBA for ESPN. Kind enough to join us here on Bet. Windy, we appreciate the time. Thank you very much. We'll start with this. The Milwaukee Bucks are a very heavy favorite to win this series at a price of minus $475. So you have to risk $475 to win $100. Are you as convinced as the odds makers that the Bucks will take care of business and win this series?
Not at all. I don't understand why the Suns aren't the favorite to win the whole thing. If you've been watching the way the playoffs have been playing out, I'm surprised that the Bucks are the favorite. Now, Milwaukee has something that almost nobody else has, and that's all of their stars are fully healthy and not in COVID protocols. So that is a real advantage, plus home court, which they weren't expecting to get as the 3 seed in this round. The thing about Milwaukee that scares me is that they're not good in close games. And I recognize that they just had this incredible meat grinder of a victory in Game 7 to get to this series, and I'm certainly paying attention to that. But I don't think they don't make good decisions under pressure, and I just think that they're going to be in too many close games for me to feel comfortable with them about winning 8 more times. And Atlanta has won 5 road games in the playoffs. Now, a big factor for Atlanta, in my view, is the health of Bogdan Bogdanovic. He is really banged up with that knee. He'll probably go tonight, but I don't know what he can give them. They haven't really just said what the injury is. He was not able to finish Game 7, which tells me that it's a real issue. And he's a really important guy for them, not because they don't have other talent, but because he's a nails player. He is not afraid of the moment, even though he hasn't been there before. So to me, I kind of would like to see how he plays before I feel really good about where the Hawks are going to be long term.
All right, Wendy, all you can do, though, is use the information you have at your hand right now. Give me your best estimate of the series outcome. Who wins and in how many games?
I'll take the Bucks in 7 because they have the best player. And when you are, I've learned when you are conflicted, take the team with the best player. But I think Atlanta has a lot going for it, and a big factor in this series is that the interior defense of the Hawks is much better than the interior defense of the Nets, and that was the lifeblood of the Bucks offense in the last round.
All right, so let's play a little Would You Rather. You have 2 options for Game 1 tonight. Would you rather bet that Trae Young scores more than 28.5 points, or would you rather bet that Giannis scores more than 32.5 points?
I like the Trae Young bet for 2 reasons. One, like I said, Bogdanovich is banged up. They may need his scoring more than even normal on the perimeter. And Clint Capella is no Blake Griffin defensively. Clint Capella is a real grade A rim protector. Giannis will not be able to score in the paint with as much ease as he did. I still think he's going to be a big factor. I thought he could have averaged 40 points a game in the last round if he really focused on it. I think it'll be harder for the interior scoring for him today, so I think his points will be a little bit down.
Let's move to the Western Conference here, Wendy. Obviously, everyone's still buzzing over that tremendous Game 2 win for Phoenix last night. The Clippers, their chances of advancing to the NBA Finals thinning like the hair on the crown of my head here, although they've been good and comfortable in this situation. That gives me hope, at least, because the Clippers have come back from an 0-2 hole a couple of times already in this postseason. How can they do that again? What can be their road game, so to speak, against this Phoenix Suns team to have them yet again come back and win 4 games in 5 tries?
Well, it's not apples to apples, because in the first 2 rounds, they had Kawhi Leonard. And I know that Kawhi didn't finish the Utah series, but he was there for the 2 wins that they did to even the series. And of course, he was a difference maker in the series against Dallas. And not only is Kawhi Leonard, I can't count on him coming back, Chris Paul is going to be back, if not in Game 3, almost certainly by Game 4. That's a heck of an addition. So I do expect the Clippers to get right back in this and maybe even make it 2-2. But I love the way the Phoenix Suns are playing. I love their depth. And I think DeAndre Ayton is turning into a force right in front of our eyes. And the Clippers have not demonstrated that they can play him into uncomfortable positions the way they did with Rudy Gobert.
All right, final question. The odds at Caesars William Hill to win the NBA title as of now are as follows. The Bucks are the favorite at +105. The Suns are the second favorite at +125. And then you have Atlanta at 11-1 and the Clippers at 16-1. What's your bet right now to win it all?
Now, the best value in there is Atlanta at 11-1, because I think they are a better team than those odds indicate. I wouldn't go with the Bucks, even though I could definitely see the Bucks winning. I just think that there's too many flaws on their roster, like I said, to win 8 more games. So if I had to pick a team to win at this point, I would pick the Suns. But the value there is with the Hawks, because they are a very potent team and very, very deep. Probably the deepest team that's still left.
He's Brian Windhorst, and he does a heck of a job covering the NBA for ESPN, joining us here on Bet. Thank you so much, Windy. We appreciate it.
Take care.
All right, let's do a little combo action here. And by the way,
I see Wendy was highly entertained by my self-deprecating hair humor.
At the very least, if it makes you feel better, not only am I getting hit in the back, I'm also getting hit in the front, too.
See, yeah.
It's a war on both fronts.
I got a friend, I hate him because his hairline is not receding, it's proceeding.
It's just getting lower.
Actually getting lower
into
as
the
he
eyebrows?
gets older. Yes. It's like, how is this possible? You're getting older and your hairline's coming down.
All right, little combo action. NBA, NHL playoff pick'em for a Wednesday night. Monday's results, we were split. We combined to go 1-1 on that Tuesday game. We hit the Suns under. We missed on a Paul George prop. We move forward. Tonight, we'll start with the NBA. The Bucks are laying 8. Totals 225.5. Everything's on the table, including player props. What do you got?
Golly, that's just a lot to lay for the Bucks. That's just a lot to lay for the Bucks. And listening to Wendy, it kind of validates or verifies what I was thinking, that 8, for whatever reason, I don't know why the market's gone there, but it just seems like too much for Atlanta. Having the personnel in Clint Capella and John Collins, who's 6'10" and has the athleticism to make life more difficult in the paint for Giannis, most notably, but even guys like Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton. Holiday especially struggled against the Brooklyn Nets in that series. So Hawks are 2-0 in game ones this postseason as underdogs on the road. Straight up 2-0. I think they can do that again, go into Milwaukee and get an outright win, but getting 8 points in my pocket, that's my favorite play.
8 is shocking considering how well Atlanta has
Exactly.
played. Like, we just watched them beat the Sixers and everyone's just like, well, the Sixers blew it. No, you got to give some credit to Atlanta for doing that on the
They
road.
won 3 times in Philly.
I know.
And Philly had been an awesome home team the last
All right,
couple
I don't want to
years.
relive it. I made a huge mistake here. As a Philly fan, I don't want to relive any of this. I am going to play the under, 225.5. Milwaukee in the regular season and Milwaukee in the playoffs are two very different things. In the regular season, averaging 120 points per game. In the postseason, averaging just 107 points per game. Defensively, it's a similar story. Allowing 114 points per game during the regular season, that drops all the way to 102 points per game in the playoffs. Why pace? Milwaukee's slowing it down. You're not getting as many fast breaks up and down the court. Now, some of you might say, well, the Miami series is what dragged those numbers down. True, but Brooklyn's a fast team as well, and the numbers in that series dropped off the deck. And then on the flip side, you got an Atlanta team that has played very good defense since Nate McMillan took over, and quietly, unders are 9-3 in Atlanta's 12 postseason games so far. This number's coming down for a reason. Under 225.5. Let's go to the NHL. The Lightning look to close it out in Game 6 tonight on the island against the Islanders. Lightning laying -145. Over-under is 5. The over's juiced. It's -130, meaning you have to risk $130 to win $100 on that over. What are you going to play here?
I'm going to play the total. I'm going to go under 5 goals. I'm going to kind of zig after what we saw. Most people thinking, oh, it's going to be another shootout, so to speak. But I think the game coming back to Long Island with them being desperate in a must-win situation to continue their season, you're going to see a very physical brand of hockey. You're going to see that team energized by the crowd. And I think goals are going to be much harder to come by for the Tampa Bay Lightning, despite how great they are offensively. So I think this is, especially with getting +110, getting electric candy on top of that bet. And then again, if it's a 5-goal game, we push, no blood, have to have 6 for you to lose this bet. But if it's anything from 1 to 4, we can cash at +110. I'm just going to try and zig when everyone else is zagging based on what we most recently saw.
Prior to Game 5, the series was averaging fewer than 5 goals per game. It's been a very tight series. And keep this in mind, too, the value of shopping around. Here at Caesars William Hill, we're talking about the line being at 5. There are some shops offering 5.5 as your goal total, but the under is going to cost you. It's going to be somewhere around -135, -140. Keep that in mind.
It's like clipping coupons.
Yeah.
Gotta shop smart.
Options. We're very frugal.
Shop smart.
We're like the Golden Girls. We just need Kazarian and we'd be able to make the 3. All right. I am going to play the Lightning. I think they close this one out. Fun fact for you. We have had 14 instances, actually now 15 after Monday night, 15 instances in NHL playoff history in which a team has won by 8 or more goals. That's happened 15 times.
Dang.
Now, 4 of those games were games that were closeouts. 10 times we've seen the teams play each other again a few nights later. And in those 10 games, doesn't matter who you are, 5-5. The team that lost is 5-5. The team that won by 8 is 5-5. I think that says something for the team that won. You would assume that there'd be a major bounce back spot in this situation, and there's not. It's 500. I think the Lightning figured it out. I think the Lightning ran the Islanders off the ice, broke their backs, took their souls, as David Goggins would say, and now they're going to go to the island and they're going to finish them off and move forward to win the series and to try and win the cup. So I'm going to go ahead and lay the price tonight.
I'll say this too, though, on the opposite side of that, if it's 5-5, the winning team is probably going to be a heavy favorite in that next game. There's probably, 5-5 is probably positive units, positive value for betting the underdog in those situations. They're likely, I would imagine, if you just lost by 8 goals, going to be a heavy underdog in the next game.
There's probably 1 or 2 situations where a good team was up 2-0, came back in Game 3 and got routed and then rebounded. But yeah, that's a very good point. Profitability-wise, it may side towards the dog there.
We'll see. But the Lightning are so good. I mean, they're so damn good.
All right, let's talk a little NFL. To the City of Angels we go. Let's break it down from the NFC with the Rams and then the AFC with the Chargers. The Rams, your team, so I'm very interested to get your takes, although pretty sure I can guess where you're going to be going.
Really?
The Rams are so far taking it slow with new quarterback Matthew Stafford as he's still learning the offense. But head coach Sean McVay said earlier this week that he's, quote, done outstanding in OTAs. Fantastic. No pressure in your face, no one hitting you, but he's done outstanding, and that's what matters. Over under 4,700.5 passing yards for Matthew Stafford this season.
I would like you to go first with your selection because you think you know what I'm going to say.
You're going to say
I
over.
know what you're going to say, but please.
You're going to say over.
Share yours first. Okay. Share yours first.
I'm going to take the under, and it's not because I don't like the Rams,
right.
All right? I'm going to take the under for a few reasons. Number one, Jared Goff never hit this mark when he was in Sean McVay's offense. Now, Matthew Stafford is better, and this is a 17-game season, so we have to keep that in mind. Only 10 quarterbacks have eclipsed this mark in the last 5 years. Again, 17-game season, but it does highlight how difficult it is to throw for 4,700 yards. If you're going to do it over the course of 17 games and play every game, you're going to need to average 276.5 yards per game. 6 quarterbacks hit that mark last year. 6. So it is going to be a challenge. Some of those quarterbacks,
Stafford was not one of them.
He was not. Some of those are like guys like Deshaun Watson, Justin Herbert. They're playing in blowouts. They're playing from behind. They got to throw nonstop. What I want you to keep in mind with this is that the Rams can play great defense, and I think the Rams are going to be very, very good. And as a result, in the fourth quarter, they're going to be grinding clock, grinding tempo, trying to hold the opponent back, running the ball with effectiveness. I think this offense wants to throw to set up the run, and I think they're going to be very good at it with Stafford, and as a result, he goes under. Not because he's not good, not because it's not a good signing. I don't think it's going to require him.
Right.
I don't think it's going to require him to go over.
Those exact reasons that you gave are why I said under as well.
You've got to be kidding me.
But I changed it to the over after I looked further into the numbers because I thought the same thing. I thought Stafford's better than Goff, but this Rams team's going to be really good. And he's not going to need to. I think this is the second highest passing yardage prop that I've seen for any individual quarterback behind only Mahomes. Exactly. So this is. I was
more
like
than
under.
Rodgers.
Yeah, I was like under. Well, I don't know if Rodgers was posted or not, but I was like under for sure. Under for sure. But then I looked. Okay, to over a 17-game schedule, 276.5 yards is what you need to eclipse this. Stafford for his career in Detroit, 273.4 yards per game. So he's about right there. Now, he gets an upgrade going to McVay, gets an upgrade with wide receivers, offensive line, maybe not offensive line, but running back for sure. Jared Goff at the height of Sean McVay's offense, 2018 and 19, averaged 291.4 yards per game. That's when the Rams were good, were winning games, and grinding out the clock in the fourth. Sean McVay does like to run the ball, but he also wants his offense to be more explosive. He went out and got Stafford for a reason, Deshaun Jackson for a reason, Tutu Atwell for a reason. I think McVay is going to want Matt Stafford to throw for 290 yards in 3 quarters. He wants to reestablish that dominant, dynamic offense from 18 and 19 when Goff was averaging 291 yards per game. That's why I switched it to over, because McVay has made it his mission to be more explosive on offense, but initially, I was under with you.
Great points, and I'm envious that this is your team, because they're going to be really fun to watch this year.
I think they are as well.
Rooting for the Eagles. You know what? That might go in the trash can. We might just keep moving. I might go over to the Rams. Win totals 10.5. Over, under.
I think that is too low. I'm going to go over. Sean McVay has a 67.2 career winning percentage.
Woo!
If you do the math over a 17-game schedule, that's 11.4 wins. Now, that being over by 0.9 wins may not seem like a lot, but this is a 16-game NFL schedule. That same math over an MLB game would equate to a team being 10 games above their threshold. So that's very significant. Your winning percentage equating to a full win more than what your number is at 10.5. So I do think this is an 11-win team, barring injury.
All right, I'm going to keep this one very simple. Over. Why? I've got them favored in 13 of the 17 games. That's what it comes down to. 13 of the 17 games, I see them as a favorite. They have an elite defense. They upgraded at quarterback. They have a great head coach. Minor concerns. They lost Brandon Staley, defensive coordinator. I'm interested to see how that pans out. And the final 3 games, at Minnesota, at Baltimore, hosting the San Francisco 49ers. So I hope it's not too tight late, because I think Minnesota is going to be better than expected. But I got them favored in 13 of 17, so I think they're good.
McVay's coached 4 seasons. He would have cleared this threshold in a 16-game season. 3 of those 4 times, if not for the loss to the Jets last year. They ended up with 10. They would have had 11
about that
if
game.
they would have beaten the Jets last
Jets game. Unbelievable. All right, same city, different conference. Let's move to the AFC. Justin Herbert, second-year quarterback of the Los Angeles Chargers, has a passing prop of 4,000 450.5 yards. You going over under on Herbert? I'm not a Bear.
I'm as bullish, if not more, on the Chargers than I am the Rams. I think
love
they're
the
gonna be
Chargers.
really good. I'm going over here for Herbert. Last year, he averaged almost 290 passing yards per game as a rookie. We know the leap that happens from year 1 to 2, especially at this position in the
He
NFL.
cut that hair. That picture's not updated.
He'll only need to average 261.8 yards per game over a 17-game schedule to clear this threshold. So, upgrade at coach. Year 2 leap, good weapons. I'm going over.
I love this kid. I love this kid.
Yeah,
I
I
think
do
he's
too.
fantastic.
I do too.
Don't like the franchise. I'm going to go under. I wouldn't be surprised if they screwed him up. Remember, Justin Herbert is a second-year quarterback who's now on his second head coach and on his second offensive coordinator and his second offensive system. That is the fastest way to screw a young player up, is to keep changing it up on him. He's got the weapons. He's got everything he has around him, and he's a fantastic player, but I do not trust the organization. Brandon Staley spent 1 year as a coordinator. It was a defensive coordinator. It was last year. That's the extent of his experience. Joe Lombardi, is that the name? Joe Lombardi? Coming in as the offensive coordinator. He's only spent 2 years as an offensive coordinator. They were in Detroit in 14 and 15 when the team ranked 22nd and 18th in scoring. Not all his fault, but there are plenty of concerns with the organization. Not with Herbert. Not with Herbert. I think he's fantastic, but I don't trust the Chargers, which leads us to former season ticket holder here. Over under 9 wins for the Bolts this year.
Over. Again, I think Herbert makes that year 2 leap. I think he's got better coaching now, going from Anthony Lynn to Brandon Staley and Joe Lombardi as the offensive coordinator, who, you're right, may have not been good in Detroit, who was, but he spent the rest of his NFL career as an assistant and quarterbacks coach under Sean Payton, working with Drew Brees in New Orleans. So I think he's got some chops. It's obviously a difficult division, especially if Denver ends up with someone like Aaron Rodgers. That might change my calculus. But if Rodgers is not there, this is the second best team in the AFC West. They're a playoff team in the AFC, and they're getting at least 10 wins.
I am going to say under, but honestly, if I was given the choice where I don't have to bet it, I wouldn't bet it. I don't have that much of a feel, but I'm going to make the play here. Small play. I will go Chargers under. There's a big difference between cheap and frugal. My father-in-law is cheap. The Chargers are cheap. I tried to be frugal. Just kidding, Marty. I love you. I know I'm going to be seeing you soon in Buffalo in a couple months. Point being, cheapness is going to hurt you in the long run. It's going to burn you, and that's what the Chargers have been for years. They're cheap, right? For 2 decades, I've seen them take some of the greatest talent imaginable and screw it up. You've got Justin Herbert. You had Phillip Rivers. You had Drew Brees. You couldn't figure it out with those guys. You're going to figure it out with this guy? Don't like it. I'd love to stay away, but ultimately, if we're going to make the pick, I'll pick the under. All right, let's talk a little golf. Little par 3 for a Wednesday afternoon. The Travelers Championship at TPC River Highlands in Cromwell, Connecticut. Par 70 course. Dustin Johnson is your defending champion. Fun fact about this. In the 69-year history of this event, the tournament was tied after 72 holes 23 times. Wow. You get a tie. You get an overtime in this event 1 out of every 3 times it's played, and winning by 1 stroke has happened over 20 times as well. It's amazing how tight this thing is played. So, give us your card. 3 plays, fire away.
Heat die course. We go from Torrey Pines playing at 7,600 yards to this TPC River Highlands playing at like 6,800 yards. Very short, very tight, very exacting golf course. My first play, Paul Casey to finish inside the top 5 at plus 350. He's first in this field in strokes gained per round. We know he's a great golfer.
Fantastic.
His history here at this event, 6 of 6 in made cuts and 4 top 5 finishes in 6 finishes. He really, really likes this event and this course. Secondly, Ches Reavie.
Old Chaz.
Top 30 at plus 275. He won this event in 2019, the year before Dustin Johnson. How about that? He has gained 10 strokes on approach over his last 2 events, the United States Open and the Palmetto at Congaree. He's 8th on tour in strokes gained on approach from 125 to 150 yards. Remember when I tried to isolate Louis Oosthuizen last week because 200 to 225, long approach shots? We're going to have short approach shots on this course because it's much shorter than Torrey Pines South course, and Reavie excels from that yardage and distance.
That's good information.
Finally, I just want to say his name. Guido Migliozzi, the Italian who finished 4th at the U.S. Open out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere.
3 straight worldwide top 5s, including a 4th at the U.S. Open. 8 of those 12 rounds have been in the 60s. He gained over 5 strokes on approach and 4 strokes around the green at the U.S. Open. So those are skills that will play well at this course. And again, his name is Guido Migliozzi, a top 30 at plus 225. Love it.
This is the all first name team. Paul, Ches, and Guido. Nicely done, my friend. All right, I'm going to fire away. No real risk here. I'm going to keep it simple. 4-round matchup play, which means my golfer needs to be better than the other golfer over the course of 4 rounds. That's going to be Kevin Streelman plus 105 over Brian Harman. Both golfers are playing very well right now. Streelman won here in 2014. He finished second here last year. Harman also has been good on this course, but he did miss the cut recently in 2 of his last 5 starts here, including last year. Harman's played well here, but given recent form and course history, I think this should be closer to a pick-em. I don't know why Streelman is plus 105. This should be minus 110 both ways. I will take the value on Kevin Streelman. Bet number 2, Bryson DeChambeau, just to finish in the top 20. It's minus 136, and for good reason. Short course, he can bomb it. He's going to be using his pitching wedge and his 56 degree throughout the course of this tournament on approach. This is a great course for bombers like DeChambeau, who, by the way, his last 3 starts here, T6, T8, T9. I just need him in the top 20 at minus 136. That's going to be the play. And then finally, your boy Paul Casey. But I'm going to minimize a lot of the risk here. I'm just going to take him in the top 20. You mentioned he's top 20 in 5 of 6 starts here. He's top 5 in 4 of 6 starts here. And he went 7th at the U.S. Open, 4th at the PGA Championship, 5th at the Players, 5th at Pebble Beach. He's been outstanding this year. So he's great on the course. He's great here. Just need him in the top 20. That's your card. All right? Final bets. Before I let you go, one final bet to slide under the door on our way out. What do you like?
Haven't talked Major League Baseball this evening. I'm going to take the Oakland A's first 5 run line against the Texas Rangers at minus 115. So just got to win the first 5 innings by a single run or more, and you cash that for the A's. The big reason why is Mike Fultonevich is on the bump, for the Rangers. He has the second worst first 5 record of any pitcher in Major League Baseball this season. 2, 9, and 3. The A's can mash and have some lefties that can do damage against Fultonevich. That's why I like them to win the first 5.
Saturday night right here in Las Vegas at the Virgin Hotel and Casino, formerly the Hard Rock. It's going to be Vasily Lomachenko going up against Masayoshi Nakatani. I like Lomachenko by KO, TKO, or DQ at even money plus 100. This is the first time we're going to see Loma since he lost to Teofimo Lopez back in the fall. All accounts are that he's in great shape and he's looking for the knockout. Remember, Lopez needed to go the distance with Nakatani. I think you're going to have a situation here where Loma wants to one-up him and then send the message to Lopez that he wants a rematch, try to get his straps back. Remember, this fight is on ESPN and ESPN Plus this Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern. That's how you plug. That's how you plug. Speaking of plugging, daily wager today at 6 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. He's Tyler Fulghum.
I thought you were going to say I need hair.
I'm Joe Fortenbaugh. The joke was there. I chose not to take it. Thank you for checking us out today. We will see you tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel, 4 p.m. Eastern.